What's up, WWE Champions Universe? This is Lee from Champions Chat, and this is your breakdown for Big Boss Man, the Corporation. I am excited to have a relevant Big Boss Man in the game. He was always one of my, side characters that I liked growing up. Although, the boss man I want in-game is the police officer boss man, not the SWAT guy. He was called SWAT when we did the reveal yesterday, huh? Now he's called the Corporation, which is going to play into one of his links here in a minute. But anyway, not this look of him. I want the old school Georgia cop, doing hard times. I want that boss man in the game. Anyway, so here's what we got on him. He is an Attitude Era aggressive powerhouse, which is a very loaded class, although a lot of the guys who are in that class have actually kind of fallen on the wayside a little bit. He has links with the Corporation, and actually this is really good because the Corporation is required on the road, and there's not a lot of great the Corporation guys that you can use. Ken Shamrock, I think, but I think you have to use the Striker one. If you can use the Tech one, you're fine. But anyway, yeah, no gear at this moment. Trainer ability is really designed for the Disciple. Purple moves start with 2 more MP. Power gems generated will add 75% more. Good move. I mean, I like that. He just fits in with some of the other guys who do pretty much that same thing. A couple different move sets we're going to take a look at with him. The first one is going to be his finisher build, and honestly I think this is going to end up being my favorite build, but he does have a lot of Botch gem builds, so obviously we can play with the plate and some things like that. Anyway, we'll see this one first. So this one is a 7 MP black leg trap in Zaguri. Deal damage, increase your red MP by 10, and if the opponent generated a multiply gem, deal damage and steal 49 multiply gems, then steal the opponent's turn. So focus on getting rid of multi-gem people, which I've said before, but multi-gems are just way overpowered in the game. Like, I love my multi-gem guys, but there's so many of them, and they all hit a bajillion damage. It's actually really nice, kind of like Tiffany Stratton, to have a few guys that reverse multiply gems. But anyway, then he's got the back elbow smash, 9 MP red move. Deal damage, force your opponent to skip their turn for 1 turn. If the opponent's class is acrobat, deal damage, increase your red move damage by 100%. That's important here in a minute. And that red move is loaded by your black 7 MP, so you don't have to worry about the high move charge on these two. Then the Boss Man Slam. Finisher, deal 5 million damage at gold. Gain 10 black MP. Pin the opponent, and if your opponent's style is defensive, deal another 5 million damage, so you double up. So if you're facing a defensive acrobat that does multiply gems, Jacob Fatu, then this boss man is your world ender. I mean, he will legitimately wipe them out. Which is quite interesting, right? That he is, Big Boss Man is the answer to Jacob Fatu. If Ray Trailer wasn't dead, I would say that's the match I want to see now. But anyway. All right, then Disciple is built for Boss Man the same way that Boss Man is built for the Disciple. Red moves that deal damage will deal 75% more damage, and black moves start with 2 more MP. You're going to need Woods for black moves start with 4 more MP. When 99 MP is on, just put your highest move damage person for red right here. And then Bret Hart for red finishers do 50% more damage, and Snoop Dogg for red moves that deal damage will deal 40% more damage. If you don't have Snoop Dogg, don't worry. Karrion Kross, Hall of Fame Diamond Dallas Page, and a couple others all do red moves, do 30% more damage, so you'd be right within that same set. So before any belt buffs, we are at 13 million damage on his finisher as an A-tier character. On the strap, we want a 100 or higher percent move damage strap, if you got one. If not, just whatever move damage you can do. And then I've got double takedown 2s with a 200% red move damage right there. I will show takedown 3s if you want to see it. I will note also I thought about, oh, this is perfect for the NWO plate, except whenever you break 6 or more red gems, increase your move damage. You're not breaking red gems. In fact, you're not touching the board with this moveset. You will have some other options, but if you look, there's really not any of them here that actually touch the board that much. It's all sub and damage per. You're not actually touching the board with him much at all. So the comparison for me for him is going to be to Rabbit. Can he do anywhere close to Rabbit's damage on the moves? We'll see. All right. So you would need to click this one to load your moves outside of 99 MP. Otherwise, you could just, in 99 MP, stun them twice. And then this will also increase your move damage twice because we are facing up against an acrobat. So, yeah, we can hit him even harder. But now he's stunned. That was 9 million. So he's down a little bit, under 15 million damage done so far. And then this is 62 million damage. And if your opponent's class is defensive, you would do 120 million. So not quite as hard hitting as Rabbit, especially since we specifically are up against a chaotic or an acrobat, whichever got us that bonus. So otherwise, it would hit for in the 50 million range, but still, that's a pretty good start. That's really good. That was 80 million damage overall. Hello, game. Come back to me, please. 80 million damage overall in one turn, and it's flawless recycle, so it's just going to keep going from there. So what if you get him... Okay. Hi there. What if you get him 99 MP era, run the same moveset, and then instead of running him, you would go to your move damage person. Let's just see what we can do to max out the move damage. And do something like Ali right here if you had him, 150. Or who's the person that does red finishers? Let's see. That's any color finisher. Red finishers, JD, or not JD, non-JD Priest. Now we're talking something powerful. Unfortunately, you can't do this without 99 MP because you don't have the black moves. It's a 7 MP move. So unless you did this with a top line bonus and sub out the Disciple, you can't quite get this. But just wanted to show you, if you get him this month while the 99 MP is in place, what can this guy do against somebody who's not Jacob Fatu? Because as established. And again, 99 MP, you run this twice. So this is 99 MP only. If you're watching after the 99 MP, just skip ahead like a minute and a half or so and you'll see the next build. But now you buff that up. Now you buff this up again when you're facing off against acrobats. There we go. And now your finisher damage is 116 million damage. And if you were facing a Jacob Fatu style defensive acrobat, you would hit that twice. So, yeah, very conditionally, Bossman hits insane amounts of damage. But that is very conditional. Very, very conditional indeed. But let's check out a different moveset now. The next two movesets are pretty much the same thing, just swapping out the rib breaker for the sub, but you're bringing back the leg trap Enziguri, deal damage, increase your red MP by 10, and if the opponent makes a multiply gem, steal that multiply gem. This build is actually one that really takes advantage of that, because you actually do turn gems into a color and break the board. So this is where that kind of shines more. The Rib Breaker, deal damage, choose 5 columns to make into Botch gems. And then the Big Boss Man Slam, which is going to be loaded by the leg trap, so don't mind that it's a 10 MP move. Deal damage plus bonus damage for every Botch gem. Then deal damage and make 36 Botch gems into black gems. So Botch and black is the play. So you need to keep woods, but then you want to switch for Andrade. Black moves start with 2 more MP. Botch gems do 75% more damage. Hunter Hearst Helmsley, the Connecticut Blue Blood. Botch gems do 40% more damage, and you generate 3 more Botch gems, which doesn't really come into effect on this. And then if you get him, the new Stone Cold, Botch gems do 60% more damage. Black gems do 40% more damage. So this is your Botch gem coach now, because previously you got 40, you got Jimmy Uso, I think, is 18k, but this really steps that up. Then there's a couple of plate options. If you've got it, the Botch Slapped. Whenever you make 8 or more Botch gems, make 8 random gems into multiply gems of strength 8. And the time to get radical, whenever you activate a black move, increase your black gems by 50%, because you're doing 2 of those. You could do some other stuff in here, like the final boss's finery, for example. If you have one of these laying around, whenever you make 15 Botch gems, decrease all of your opponent's gem damage by 80% and run him defensively, but I would prefer to keep him offensive. So we've got 100% strap, double Fury 2s, and then let's see, we'll swap in this just to give him a little more move damage there. He's got a red finisher. So yeah, this is pretty much the same thing we're going to do on the next one, except for we're adding in the sub in the mix. So I'll kind of show you that as well. Yeah, I'm just thinking about whether I should update the graphic as I do it. But anyway, all right, so we're going to increase our red MP. Eventually, the game's kind of freezing there. Then we're going to lay down our Botch gems. Doesn't really matter where, but you are going to turn them into black. So just keep that in mind. Like, you want to match up to as many black gems as you can in doing this. So something like that. I thought I said rows. That's definitely columns. Now you can see the ×8 drop, and because you've isolated all the others, hopefully you get them to land on black gems so that they match as much as possible. Then you're dealing basically about 1 million bonus damage for every Botch gem, dealing additional damage and making him black. So he's got 74 million health, which means we haven't dropped him by anything with our move damage right now. That alone took him down by 30 million, and that was another 61 million total. That is not bad at all. Now, that is, 2 fairly rare plates in the mix, so keep that in mind. But you're going to be able to, if you are like, oh man, that's just not going to work, like, you can, come on, game. There we go. You can also do this build a little differently. Let me see if I can. This has been reported, by the way, so hopefully they can fix it, because my goodness, is it annoying. Anyway, so the other way you run this is just to swap in the sub. So this one is making 44 random sub gems, doing damage for 2 turns while sub gems are on the board. Remaining turn into Botch gems. So you can keep everything here the same because you're still focusing on the same style damage. The big change that you would make if you don't have the Botch slapped plate is to run, let's see, which one is the black right here. If you've got the new pentaplate, whenever you make 8 or more sub gems, increase your black gem damage by 200%. Remember how I said there's usually a character that comes out later that's better for the plates than the one it's actually made for? Well, we're already there, so there you go. But you can run the Rhonda's Jacket. This is 100%, so this is obviously a much more common plate. And now you've kind of got a plate that's very common, and then this plate was offered as an oopsie. So while I wouldn't normally say it's common, a lot of people got this because of an oopsie on the event wall when Radical Seth first came out. Like, they offered that plate for literally next to nothing compared to what they would normally do for a plate like that. So yeah, I'm gonna count it as something that is not as rare as you would expect it to be. So that's your updated graphic on it. Same basic setup, except for we're starting with the sub. Move damage and then the sub. Move increase and then the sub, that is. So that way your finisher is loaded. You can actually do it either way. Hit that one. Thank you. Then you do this. It's 2 turns, so it should literally leave most of them on the board and just basically set him back a turn. So it's like he just didn't get that turn, basically. It's not quite a stun, but it's the next best thing to it. And he hit all botch gems, so we didn't get hit. So now we've got the bonus damage plus the finisher. So we're at 73 million on health. The last one was 61 million on this hit. This one is 53 million. So the other way is a little bit stronger, but that obviously requires a more rare plate. So that's it for Boss Man. He does have 2 other moves I'm going to point out real quick, but I don't like them, and I don't just say that arbitrarily. Like, I don't know anyone, and I'm sure somebody will say in the comment section, no, it's me, I do this, but I don't know anyone who uses this style of move because they're so fickle, I guess is the best word. Einhorn is Finkel. Finkel is Einhorn. All right, come on. Let's load game. But either way, they're the moves where it's like a 1 MP charge, I think, if I could ever get there, and you steal a color. So one of them is steal red, the other one is steal black. But again, it's not as useful because you have to make sure your opponent has... Okay, so this is just straight up crash now. You have to make sure your opponent has enough of those colors that it actually loads your moves. And yeah, it's just not the way to do it. Well, I need to reload the game anyway because it's crashing on me here for today. But that's Boss Man. I think he's really stinking good. Like, I really enjoy using him. Very situational, but I've just come to accept that a lot of the characters now, you just, like, this is better against this, and this is better against that. So you either just kind of use the same characters that you know and just remember, like, okay, this Boss Man, if I run him with his move damage set, is good against defensive acrobats. And so you try to target acrobats, hope they're defensive, and go from there and feud. But I think he does really good damage for an A-tier character. Not quite as much just right out the box as Rabbit did, but for a powerhouse that's basically free if you play the game, I'm not upset about it. I like him. I think he's really good. So 2 for 2. I liked the Disciple. I like Boss Man. Let's check out the revamped Undertaker and the new Stone Cold. Check for all those videos because they're all coming out soon. I'll see you on the next one, friends. Like, share, subscribe. Bye.